Thank you, Attorney-General. Senator Hume.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is for the Minister for the Arts, Senator Fifield. Can the Minister update the Senate on how the arts portfolio will mark this year's International Day of People with Disability?
The Minister for Communications and the Arts, Senator Fifield.
Thanks, Mr President. I thank Senator Hume for her question and her ongoing advocacy for Australians who face extra challenges for reasons often beyond their control. Mr President, the Australian International Day of People with Disability on the 3rd of December is a day to mark the achievements that we've made towards full access and participation by Australians with disability and also an occasion to further champion efforts to that end. Australian national cultural institutions play a key role in ensuring all Australians have access to arts and culture. The National Museum of Australia, for instance, will hold an event focused on exploring world music for school children with disability. The Museum of Australian Democracy is hosting social media events and a tour through the spaces where the legislation supporting people with a disability was discussed, debated and decided to highlight the events and people who have paved the way for disability reform in Australia. The National Gallery of Australia, for its part, will hold a free digital drawing workshop for people with disability and provide assisted tours throughout December to the Versailles exhibition. Geelong's own internationally acclaimed Back-to-Back Theatre and Perth's Sensorium Theatre are at the leading edge of theatre and questioning the assumptions that we have about disability and the making and enjoyment of art. These are just a few examples of the kind of events being planned to mark this important day in our calendar. And I should also note that the National Disability Insurance Scheme will allow many hundreds of thousands of Australians greater opportunity to participate in community life, and that includes artistic and cultural endeavours.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Hume, supplementary question.
Thank you, Minister, for that encouraging and heartening response. Can the Minister advise the Senate how the community can show its support for artists with a disability?
Minister.
Thanks, Mr President. There's a great range of activities that will be taking place right around Australia, as I foreshadowed, and I encourage all my colleagues over the next few weeks to take part in those in their own communities. Senator Hume will, I think, be aware of the fantastic Arts Project Australia organisation based in Northcote in Melbourne, who will be holding their annual gala opening this Saturday afternoon, which showcases the work of over 120 artists. I've visited Art Projects Australia myself on a number of occasions, and I commend that to colleagues. Alternatively, to head north this Friday, Art Matters will be holding a puppetry performance in Shepparton. There are fantastic events in most communities, and I would encourage all colleagues where they have the opportunity to take part.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Hume, final supplementary question.
Thank you, Minister. Clearly, from the silence of those opposite, there is bipartisan support for these programs, but I'm interested if the Minister can tell the Senate how the Turnbull government is supporting artists with a disability.
Minister.
Thanks, Mr President. Programs in my department and within the Australia Council are committed to supporting the good work of my colleague in the other place, Mr Porter. As I mentioned, the important role that the National Disability Insurance Scheme will play in enhancing access and participation by Australians with disability. The government also, I should point out, supports artists with disability through its involvement in the National Arts and Disability Strategy, which is a framework for collaboration across federal, state and territory governments. In 2015-16, I should mention the Australia Council invested $375,000 in dedicated funding for artists with disability, and some 6% of its expert peer grant assessors have a disability themselves. So there's a lot that's happening, there's a lot that's positive, and I appreciate Senator Hume giving the opportunity to expand.
Thank you.